Hi, I'm Gary Striegler, and this is a custom project I just finished for one of my clients. It's a screen door. We do quite a few screened-in porches, and the screen doors that you can buy at the big box stores just really aren't quite the quality that we need. So I try to make these myself most of the time. I've made it out of cedar, which I did get at a big box store, and the joinery are these Festool dominoes. These are the large dominoes. I've got 2 in these joints, and I put 3 in there. Now, you could possibly put that together using dowels. Don't know that I'd recommend it with biscuits, or you could, I suppose, machine some sort of a mortise and tenon. But, you know, if you're looking for a reason to buy a domino, doing projects like this are a great reason to buy one. I use the Titebond 3 glue because this is going to be sheltered, but it's still outside. Now, a couple of things. First off, I really went through the pile of lumber to make sure that I found some very, very straight pieces. And as I glued it together, if there was any crown at all in the boards, I made sure I kept them going the same direction. Now, you could also do this by rough cedar and plane it down, and I actually did a little bit of planing on this material to make sure everything was exactly the same thickness. And part of the reason I did that too is because this bottom rail and this middle rail are glued up wider. Basically what they had were 2x4s at the big box stores, so I did a pretty big glue up again using that Titebond 3 glue, and then planed it down to make those rails. This is a 36-inch wide door. It's actually 36 1/4 because one of the things I've learned, I always like to make them a little bit wider and then take a hand planer and fit them on site. You know, you can always make them a little bit narrower, but it's really hard to make them wider. So often we will make this panel in here out of just the hardy type or fiber cement material, but for this door I wanted to dress up a little bit more, so I actually made some paneling, and it is just some right at 3/4 inch thick material, and I just took and made a rebate cut on each side. The pieces go together like that with a little bit of a gap in between it for movement. Also, now, by the way, this door, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it ended up about 1 3/8 inches thick when it was all said and done, because I started out with 1.5 inch material. Again, if you use the rough cedar, you might be able to plane it down and still keep an 1.5 inch thick door, but this is still way stronger, way nicer than the doors that you buy at the big box store. Now, I made the pocket for this paneling by just running around the inside of the frame with this 1/2 inch rebate bit from Whiteside. And I did that in several steps. And by the way, I made a kind of a gentle climb cut because cedar does tend to blow out sometimes, but that's just going to be dependent on your comfort level. But I rebated down all the way around, down about 3/4 of an inch. And then I took a multi-tool and squared out the corners, because you know you end up with a radius corner when you do this. Otherwise, between a chisel and a multi-tool, squared out the corners, and then just laid out this paneling and put it in place. Now, here, there's several different things I could have done for the screen. I could have rebated a second time and made a place to put the screen, but we use a track system that you just screw the track on, and then you can roll the screen right into it, and there's a cap that goes over it. And that's especially nice because eventually someone's going to damage that screen. It's got to be replaced. So all you have to do is just pop off the cap, put a new piece of screen in, then roll it in with that spline. So this is a project I'm really proud of, and it's one of those projects that just about any carpenter or homeowner is going to end up doing.